My sister Mariah had always known how to command a room. From the moment we were kids, everything she wore sparkled, and everything I wore, well, was fine. She had a way of turning compliments into expectations and criticism into entertainment. I was used to being the quiet sister, the one people barely noticed in photos, sometimes cropped out entirely. But I was fine with it. Or at least I convinced myself I was. Until the bridal shower. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video. Mariah was marrying into a family that measured worth in status symbols, Gucci clutches, Italian marble countertops, and customized name-engraved champagne flutes. I had never fit into that world, and I hadn't tried to. But when the invitation to her bridal shower came in an embossed envelope with gold foil trim and an itinerary longer than most weddings, I felt something unfamiliar. Dread. The event was hosted at a rooftop garden in Manhattan, rented out just for the day. It was all pink peonies, crystal chairs, and his and hers macarons. I arrived exactly on time, which meant I was the last one to show up because apparently, fashionably early was the new late. Everyone turned when I walked in, and I felt it instantly. The hush, the subtle eye squints, and then Mariah's high-pitched giggle echoing off the rooftop tiles. "Oh my God!" she laughed, loud enough for everyone to hear. "Did you stop by the thrift store before coming?" More laughter followed. My cheeks burned. I froze. I looked down at my outfit, a soft cream blouse tucked into a dark plum midi skirt, paired with a pair of vintage-inspired heels. I had spent weeks saving for it. It wasn't from any luxury boutique. It wasn't dripping in logos. But it made me feel good. Until now. Mariah walked over, glass of rosé in one hand, perfect curls bouncing, and did the slow circle around me. "It's giving substitute teacher chic," she said, smirking as her bridesmaids snorted. One even took a photo of me behind her phone, pretending it was discreet. I clenched my fists, but I didn't say a word. Years of being the quiet one had trained me for this moment, even if it still stung like a fresh slap across the face. "Don't worry, everyone," Mariah said, raising her glass mockingly. "Not everyone can afford bridal couture. Some of us have to be creative." The laughter continued as I tried to find a seat. Any seat where I could disappear. That's when I saw him. In the far corner of the room, seated near the caterers and partially hidden behind a tall arrangement of roses, was a sharply dressed man I didn't recognize, but he was staring. No, studying my outfit with intense curiosity. He whispered something to the woman next to him, then stood up. I assumed he was one of the groom's relatives, or maybe a last-minute planner. But then, as Mariah posed for more photos and tossed a "try Zara next time" in my direction, the man started walking toward me, slowly, intentionally. Everyone noticed. The laughter stopped. Even Mariah turned, clearly intrigued. He approached me and with a soft, almost amused smile said, "Excuse me, would you mind if I took a photo of your outfit?" I blinked. "Sorry?" "It's stunning," he continued. "I designed it." The rooftop went silent. Mariah's mouth hung open. Bridesmaids stared. The man reached into his pocket, pulled out a slim black card, and handed it to me. "I'm Luca Rinaldi," he said. "Creative director at House of Rinaldi. That blouse and skirt? That's from our unreleased fall capsule collection. I sent it to a select list of insiders last month. Fashion editors, stylists. No one was supposed to wear it publicly yet. But I must say, you wear it better than I imagined." My hands trembled. I'd bought the pieces secondhand online, an auction site from a seller in Milan. I had no idea. Mariah's face turned a shade paler than her champagne. He turned to the crowd and added, "Whoever called this cheap doesn't understand fashion. This outfit won't be available to the public for another 2 months." A camera flashed. I wasn't invisible anymore. The next 30 seconds felt like slow motion. Mariah's fingers tightened around her champagne glass as if she were crushing it into dust. Her eyes, wide and twitching, flicked between me and Luca Rinaldi. For once, she had no words, no quips, no insults, no charming deflections. The rooftop garden, which had been buzzing with light laughter and bridal squeals just moments ago, was now dead quiet. I swallowed, unsure what to say. I didn't know it was unreleased, I told Luca softly. He smiled, his tone warm. That makes it even better. You wore it with no label, no hype, just style. That's real fashion. Someone near the back gasped. Another whispered, "Wait, that's the Luca Rinaldi?" He nodded politely, then looked around. "And may I also ask?" He scanned the crowd, his eyes narrowing just slightly. "Who was it that called this ensemble? What was it? Cheap? Thrift store?" Mariah's smile was frozen like a wax mask. "It was just a joke," she said, her voice unusually thin. "We're sisters. We joke all the time." Luca's eyebrows lifted. "Ah, I see." But it wasn't a joke. Everyone knew it. Every bridesmaid who had laughed, every cousin who had smirked. They were all suddenly silent, pretending to be interested in their champagne. I looked at Mariah, and for the first time in years, I didn't see someone radiant or powerful. I saw a person terrified of losing control. "I think I'll be going," I said quietly, tucking Luca's card into my clutch. "Thank you for the invitation." But as I turned, Luca gently tapped my shoulder. "Would you stay just a little longer?" he asked. "I'd like to discuss something professional." Mariah's jaw clenched. "Professional?" He smiled, still looking at me. "I'm launching a new campaign for real women, people who carry elegance without trying. You embody that. Would you consider modeling for us?" My stomach dropped. "You mean, like, as in?" "As in," he replied. "Runway. Press events, editorials, paid." And just like that, my world shifted. I heard Mariah let out a short, unintentional laugh, as if trying to dismiss it all. "You're kidding, right? She's never modeled. She works in a bookstore." Luca turned to her. "Some of the greatest faces come from humble places. Authenticity can't be taught." Then he turned back to me. "What do you say?" I hesitated, but then something inside me snapped back into place. The part that had always swallowed insults, laughed off humiliation, let my parents brush aside cruelty with, "It's just how Mariah is." "I'd be honored," I said, standing taller. From that moment forward, everything changed. The next week, I was flown to Milan for a pre-shoot fitting. Photos of me in that same blouse and skirt, once mocked, now legendary, went viral on fashion blogs. "The Unknown Muse," one headline read. "Who is she?" another asked. "Mariah?" She tried to spin it. She made passive-aggressive posts. "So proud of my sister. Who knew she had it in her?" But people saw through it. And worse for her, sponsors began pulling out of her wedding brand collabs, not wanting to associate with someone who publicly mocked a now-famous face of kindness and class. Even our parents called, saying they wanted to talk. But I didn't answer, because I was walking through an airport terminal in heels I could finally afford, a designer coat around my shoulders, and a quiet sense of peace in my chest. My story wasn't theirs to control anymore, not after I became the woman they never thought I could be. The day of Mariah's wedding arrived like a storm front I could see coming from miles away. The invitations had long been sent, white and gold cards etched with her full name in sweeping calligraphy. Mariah Estelle Whitmore. No mention of a sister, no +1 for me. Just a note from our mother that read, "Let's keep the focus on the bride this time. Please dress appropriately." And yet I still showed up, not because I wanted to be there, but because I had a reason. You see, 2 weeks earlier, Luca had made another offer, not just for modeling. He asked if I would style his next private runway collection for a select audience of elite fashion buyers, editors, and influencers. The show would coincide with the day of Mariah's wedding. I was supposed to fly to Paris, but when I told him everything, How I'd grown up in my sister's shadow, how my parents excused every cruelty, how I had once been locked in the laundry room during Mariah's Sweet 16 because my dress clashed with hers. He leaned forward and asked one simple question. What would make you feel seen? So I stayed, and Luca arranged for something far better than Paris. He sent his team. Mariah's wedding was held at a rented estate in the countryside, filled with hand-picked roses, rented swans, and a bridal planner who looked like she hadn't slept in months. Everything was curated to scream perfection. Until I walked in, wearing a full-length crimson gown, elegant, fitted, daring. It shimmered under the chandeliers like blood under light. It wasn't loud. It didn't scream for attention, but heads turned, whispers buzzed. And then the cameras clicked, because Luca's lead photographer was there too. He wasn't hiding. He was documenting. One of the editors from Luxe Vogue who had attended the bridal shower had followed me in and whispered to the woman next to her, "That's her. That's the one who wore the unreleased Rinaldi piece." Mariah froze when she saw me. Her face didn't contort, not at first. It was still, stunned, pale beneath layers of bridal makeup. "Why are you here?" she hissed when I approached. I smiled calmly. "I came to say congratulations." My mother appeared at her side like a vulture disguised in pearls. "This is not your moment. You're being inappropriate." I leaned close and said quietly, "You never made room for me to have a moment. Now that I've made my own, you're just uncomfortable." Then I walked past them, across the courtyard, and took a seat near the back. Not to steal a spotlight, but to prove I no longer needed theirs. But the moment that changed everything came during the reception. The DJ, bless his oblivious soul, accidentally played an audio file sent for Mariah's upcoming campaign. It included a recorded call where she mocked not just me, but her own fiancé, laughing about how she settled because she wanted to outdo her ex at the altar. Silence. The groom stood slowly. Guests shifted uncomfortably. Mariah tried to laugh it off, her voice cracking. "That wasn't supposed to. That was just a joke." But the damage was done. The wedding didn't fall apart instantly. It unraveled, hour by hour, as more people whispered, as the groom distanced himself, as brand reps quietly left the reception. I said nothing. I didn't gloat, because I didn't need to. Luca's post about me went live the same night, an elegant photo of me at the wedding, captioned, "True elegance is grace under fire. Meet the face of our newest campaign, real, radiant, resilient." By the next morning, my image was everywhere. Mariah's wasn't. She deleted half her social media. The campaign she'd bragged about, dropped. Her sponsors, gone. Our parents tried to call. My mother even left a voicemail. "We were just trying to protect her image. You know how sensitive she is." I didn't answer. Because I wasn't the girl crying in the corner anymore. I was the woman they never thought would rise. And I had risen, silently, powerfully, beautifully, without ever needing to scream. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video.